Did you see this NFL team get back to basics and get even better? So why did they hit the reset button, and what does it mean for the rest of the league? Here's how it all happened. Head coach Dan Campbell has taken the Lions offense back into his own hands. After an inconsistent start to the season under offensive coordinator John Morton, Campbell ceased play calling duties in order to, in his own words, find a little rhythm. Campbell put his stamp on the offense, using different personnel packages, formations, and play calling tools than the offense had been used to for the first 2 months of the season. So let's dig into the tape and find out what the Lions are doing a little bit differently now. Campbell wasted no time making the offense his own. On the first play of the game, the Lions came out with an extra offensive lineman on the field, and over the course of the game, the Lions ran 7 such plays, the most in a single game for them this season, and it was their first game this season with more than 4 such plays. It was clear that Campbell wanted to get bigger and run the ball, and things got off to a good start with this 8-yard run. So the Lions come out in this under center formation with Dan Skipper here being our extra offensive tackle. Now they also have 2 tight ends here aligned to this side. So they are trying to tell us that they are going to run the ball to that side of the field. For whatever reason, Washington responds with nickel personnel having 5 defensive backs on the field. That's for another video on what's going wrong with their defense. What the Lions are going to do with this play is they're going to get a lot of double teams. They're going to use the left guard and the center here to double team up to this defensive tackle, try to work to that linebacker. They're going to use our extra offensive lineman here down to the right to work with the end on this tight end, and they're going to work up to that linebacker. They're really just running a duo concept here where they're trying to get a lot of vertical push so that our running back Jahmyr Gibbs can fight his way up in there for a nice 8-yard gain. It wasn't all ground and pound for the Lions offense under Campbell. In fact, many of Detroit's best plays were won by alignment before the ball was even snapped, including this receiving touchdown by Jahmyr Gibbs to cap off the opening drive. So Detroit here ends up in the red zone, shifting their formation here to where they have 2 tight ends here to the right side and 2 receivers down here to the left side. Now, the reason this is important for Washington is that when you have no receivers to one side of the field, you kind of put the defense in a bind. They want to bring this corner over here to play on top of the receivers so you have all your corners on top of your receivers, or do you just leave everything as it is and probably tell the defense that you're playing some zone coverage because you would be in a mismatch if this guy was playing man coverage on the tight ends. Washington is in fact going to keep their corners on each side of the field. These are both their outside corners here, so they're in kind of a standard alignment. So what the Lions are actually going to end up running here is a vertical concept with a lot of these tight ends here where they're going to get push here up the seam, and it's really going to force this linebacker in a bind, because if he wants to get over the top in zone coverage and stay on top of Jahmyr Gibbs here, the running back, he's got to make sure he can get over the top of this tight end. And so it's going to give Jahmyr Gibbs a ton of space underneath as we start to roll the play. So we're going to roll it. You can see this tight end is really getting in the way of this linebacker. He's trying to fight over the top, make sure that Gibbs isn't going to be free in the flat. But as we roll the play, Gibbs kind of feigns to the flat, cuts back over the middle. He has so much space to work with, and that's a really easy touchdown. Now let's get to Jameson Williams' 41-yard reception on a short crossing route to see how the new look Lions use their smart formational play and the threat of the run game together. So the Lions actually come out in this 2-by-2 formation where they've got a tight end to the bottom of the screen, and the reason that matters is Washington matches him with one of their safeties, which tells us that we're getting like body on a like body, probably getting some man coverage. And so as the Lions actually get this information, they're going to actually shift into a different formation where now they've got the threat of this under center run where our tight end is now here, and the Commanders are still showing us a little bit of man coverage. Now, the reason this is important for the Detroit Lions is they're going to take Jameson Williams here to the bottom, and they're going to run him straight across the line of scrimmage, and they're going to try to get him in a bunch of traffic over the middle of the field so that they can spring him free. The reason this is going to work is we're going to still have this safety trying to play man coverage on the tight end, but we're going to need this outside corner to run across the field with Jameson Williams. We're also going to have these linebackers here kind of sitting, waiting for what is going to be a run fake from the Lions offense. So you're just going to get so much traffic over the middle here. As we roll the play a little bit, we're going to see the Lions shift a different receiver in, and you're going to get this exact traffic you want. This corner's trying to fly across the field with Jameson Williams. This safety is really trying to go down to cover his tight end. They're going to hit each other. Jameson Williams is going to be able to sprint scot-free to the other side of the field for one of his biggest plays of the day. The Lions had sort of lost their way for the first half of the season, but they're taking the right steps to get back on track. Jumbo personnel packages, sharp offensive design, and crafty play action passes. It's the kind of stuff that made the Lions a force to be reckoned with over the last 4 years. Seeing them tap back into that identity is a really good sign for their chances in the race back to the top of the NFC. Thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, go and check out this video on how the Bills are bringing back a bit of old school football. Also, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and throw us a comment with what you think we should cover next week.